Recollections May Vary, a royal recap. I'm Kinsey Schofield here with Kevin O'Sullivan. You watch us together on the Political Asylum with Kevin O'Sullivan. And Kev, Meghan Markle has kept us pretty busy over the last few weeks. You had a friend on, and I'm so sorry, I forgot his name. It starts with an A, but he is a film and television reviewer. And that one time where he talked about Meghan relentlessly cutting the fruit on her show.
Oh, no, Ali Ross.
Ali Ross, that's right, Ali Ross. Relentless is like the best way I know how to describe Meghan Markle at the end of 2025.
Yeah, as Ali Ross, the brilliant TV critic of the Sun newspaper here in Britain, and he did say that if you watched With Love Meghan, she spends most of the time just relentlessly chopping vegetables and fruit. And once you've got that in your mind, you can never watch that programme the same again. It's just this. And you're right, there is something, and that feeds into her personality. She is relentless. I think right now, her life is an utter mess. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. She's just sort of lashing out, trying this, trying that. I think, as ever, quite clearly has been the disaster we always said it would be. And now God knows what she's up to. The Paris trip, the New York trip. It's all very, very strange, but it smacks to me of a woman who is lost, who is desperately trying to find something to do, something that will make her lots of money, but can't quite do that. It's almost sad to see.
Kev, Meghan uploads this video after the New York trip because she's heading to Washington, D.C. for for some other prestigious event that she doesn't belong at. And it's interesting to watch her recap video of New York because this trip to NYC was meant to highlight Meghan's alleged work related to mental health and the tragic death of children. But sharing such trivial and shallow content, like Meghan walking through her closet and looking at her clothes, all of her high heels lined up, just looking at how void this is, I feel like it completely undermines that cause of, protecting children online, making the entire visit feel superficial and insincere. But I look at this, I mean, she's laughing backstage when she's about to receive an award, and everybody in that room is remembering dead babies. I mean, I think that that's totally inappropriate. But I think this is the real Meghan Markle, totally self-consumed and wholly committed to the prove it game that she told Jamie Kern-Lima she forfeited. I'd like to know what your initial thoughts were after you watched that Instagram video.
Yeah, inappropriate because, I mean, we all sort of laughed at the fact that Harry and Meghan were going to be awarded Humanitarians of the Year trophies by Project Healthy Minds. I mean, that's just a joke. But Project Healthy Minds, is a serious organisation that does good work. It is about children who have suffered due to mental health, due to online harm, a kind of area that Harry and Meghan are supposed to be active in. Although, apart from a launch video, we can't find any evidence that they've actually ever done anything. But anyway, they go up to collect these awards. We laughed at the fact they're getting these awards. Harry would go to the end of the earth to pick up any old award. Who can forget his Legend of Aviation award that he collected from John Travolta in Beverly Hills, Hollywood, when he couldn't even pass his helicopter pilot's test. He's not even a pilot. It's ridiculous. This guy will take a gong from anyone because he wants to look good in the papers, wants to look good on TV. He's got no shame like that. So we're laughing at Harry and Meghan getting these thoroughly undeserved Humanitarian of the Year awards. That's funny. But the work that Project Healthy Minds does is not funny. It's serious. It's important. And there's Meghan turning it into some sort of glamour trip. And when you see that long line of high heels and her walk-in wardrobe and her lipstick, you think, what happened to the domestic goddess who just liked pottering around on her beehives, making honey and jam? What happened to that? Are we moving into another phase now? And the other thing to note about these videos, of course, is this kind of real pathetic walk-on bit part that Harry plays, standing around in the background while the star of the show hogs the limelight. That is, of course, his attention-seeking wife, Meghan. So yes, the video, totally inappropriate and totally all about Meghan. Meghan completely missing the point of what the hell she was doing in New York. But also, of course, she was there meeting the editor of American Vogue, Chloe Mal, I think her name is. And, you know, she wanted, you know, it's as if she's moving into, they called it, I think one of the papers called it Meghan Phase 3. You know, she's now giving up on as ever, giving up on the jam and the honey, the scam jam and the cookie dough, and moving into high fashion, hence the weird trip to Paris. The trip to Paris that friends of Harry in particular, but also friends of Meghan, are absolutely shocked that she made. No one can quite believe that she went back to Paris, having told friends in the past, I can't ever go to Paris because that's where Harry's mom died. Harry won't go there, so I can't ever go there. And yet suddenly she pitches up for Paris Fashion Week. Nobody invited her. She invited herself. And you have to ask, why did she do that? Is it because she knew that being in Paris, the scene of Harry's mother's death, would get her lots of column inches? Was it deliberate? Was it a publicity stunt? I think the more we see of Meghan, the more we think that may be true.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a fair assessment, that she knew that being in Paris would attract a lot of attention. And that's why the idea of her kicking her feet up and recording herself passing the death tunnel is even more sinister feeling. It's so funny that you talk about Prince Harry in the background, because all I thought of when I saw that video of Prince Harry was, something tells me Harry spends a lot of time in sweatpants. He's like
You
standing there in
told me
sweatpants,
that.
and I'm like, yeah, because he's a loser. Get a job, Harry.
Yeah, he's a sweatpants kind of a guy. But when he goes out, he really smartens up. He puts a pair of chucker boots and chinos on and a polo
Well,
shirt.
he started his body is starting to give a little Prince Andrew. So maybe he needs to spend some more time on the beach. I know that that's so mean of me to comment, but I was like, he's starting to look like his older relatives when I saw him on the carpet. I also noticed in that video, Gloria Steinem, does she even realize that Meghan is recording her, creepily recording her eating sushi? Did you see that very last shot at the end?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what are are you asking people permission before you record them while they're trying to privately eat sushi? What is the objective here? But you're right. There's a beauty or a couture pivot happening, because I looked at the copious amounts of makeup capsules that I did not recognize. I don't recognize them from the Neiman Marcus beauty section or from walking through a Nordstrom. I don't recognize those beauty capsules. So I wondered, and especially the way she's using the same beauty capsule backstage at that event. She lingers on these beauty capsules in this video. And she has previously said that she would consider going into not only fashion, but beauty. So I wondered if she was trying to tease a beauty line. And for the love of God, what could she sell if she tries to hawk makeup? Bronzer? Because that's really the only thing that ever stands out to me.
Yeah, I mean, she actually said something like, "Oh yeah, maybe I'll bring in fashion into my brand because that's what people associate me with, fashion." No, they don't. Where did you get that from? I mean, you know, she's not a bad dresser. She dresses like a Californian sunshine girl.
But she dressed better as a working member of the British royal family. If you ask me to name Meghan Markle's most beautiful looks or fashionable moments, not one would be since she left the British royal family. It's the green dress during her last engagement with William and Catherine. It's the brown outfit she wore at Sandringham, the first Christmas she was there in the Fab Four walking together. Not once would I name an outfit that she's worn since leaving the British royal family. It's like everything she has, she's generated thanks to this this family, and she doesn't even acknowledge it.
Well, and don't get me started. I agree with you, Kinsey. I mean, when she's wandering around Montecito, I mean, she's not a bad Californian type of dresser. But haute couture, I don't think so. And I'm not sure she has that serious, innate sense of style. Because I think someone with an innate sense of style would not have gone out in Paris dressed in that kind of ghost chic Balenciaga outfit. She looked terrible in that. I would have taken one look at it if I was her and said, no, 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 I'm not wearing this. It's like there are lots of interpretations of what she looked like, but I mean, I thought she looked like the Pope after a bad night on, on the tiles or something, or it looked like she couldn't get out of bed or something, and just had to suddenly shove her head through the sheet and go out like that. But all in all, it was a bad look. So
yeah, that was our first sign that she wasn't really friends with the Balenciaga designer, who's like, she
yes.
invited herself. Like, when I saw that, I said, no friend lets a friend walk out of the
Yeah.
house like that.
Yeah, and that's what the Balenciaga guy said, wasn't it? I didn't invite her; she invited herself. She said she'd love to come, which again makes you think. Well, she went out of her way to go to the no-go town, the city of Paris, where she said she would never go because of Harry. I think she went deliberately because that would get her a lot of headlines, and that feeds into suspicion that she knew exactly what she was doing when she was in the back of that limousine driving past the Diana death tunnel where Diana died with her feet up. She knew exactly what she was doing. And if we do accept that she was doing all this deliberately, cashing in on the place where Diana died, getting herself publicity on the back of that, what kind of a person is she? What kind of a human being is this woman? I mean, it really, if what we're saying is true, and I suspect it is, how low can you sink, Kinsey? How low can you sink?
I saw one comment under the article from the Daily Mail about how Harry feels that people are using the death of his mother or his mother's legacy to beat his wife with. Something like some weird
No,
quote
they
like
did.
that.
The actual phrase was, he let this be known through the usual friends, that Harry was furious that the media was using Meghan's Paris trip as a stick to beat her with. Well,
Well, no,
so
it was something to do with Diana and
no,
Diana's death.
it was that it was using her Paris trip as a stick to beat her with, obviously encompassing the Diana angle. Now, to which, what is the obvious response? Well, here's an idea then, Meghan, and maybe you might like to think about this, Harry. Don't go to Paris. Do you know
Here's
what I
the
mean?
quote. It says a pal of the couple said Harry was left hurt and upset. Diana's death was used as a stick to beat his wife with.
Yeah, yeah.
And then all of the comments underneath it were like, what are you talking about? You two have been dining out on your mother's death for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what's so important. I mean, I know that Meghan is the villain in the story because Harry was not 100% like this. Although I don't think we know who Harry was because the palace painted such a glorious picture
Yeah,
of somebody that I don't think is,
I agree with you.
100% accurate.
I agree.
But Harry has been dining out on his mother's death for the last 5 years too. Like we can't, Harry is not always the innocent victim in his sweatpants. Let's talk about the article you mentioned, Meghan Markle 3.0. Today, as we record this, Meghan's joining Kamala Harris, Selena Gomez, and more at Fortune's annual Most Powerful Women Summit, where she is set to discuss navigating entrepreneurship in the public eye and building a brand that will endure. The chat titled Next Level Influence will also cover how Meghan plans to build a successful, long lasting business empire. We're waiting to see it. The blurb from Fortune reads, she joins us to discuss the opportunities and challenges of life as a high profile, highly scrutinized founder, as well as how she plans to leverage her significant influence to build a successful, long lasting business empire. First of all, with the idea that they described her as a highly scrutinized founder in this official blurb from Fortune. Does that say to you that she's still leaning on that victimhood narrative because she's trying to like wear it as a badge? Like, despite all the meanies, I'm still here.
Yeah, very much so. Absolutely. I mean, she wants to talk about, not only trying to launch her brand, trying to launch her business, but how difficult it is if you're in the public eye and everybody is scrutinizing you. Well, frankly, I mean, that's almost a unique problem for Meghan, and I feel very sorry for her. But don't bore the rest of us with it. I mean,
But also, like, it's a blessing and a curse because
yeah,
you have name recognition. So you're
exactly.
going to have more opportunities of it than other people have.
She's launching everything about her business is based on who she is. It's based on her alleged popularity. And I was saying to you this morning, here's the problem. The problem with all her businesses, American Riviera or Orchard, as ever, and maybe some kind of fashion business in the future, they're based on selling products on the basis of her popularity. So the problem with all of her businesses has been, is, and always will be that the premise is wrong because she is not popular. If you're not popular, you can't launch a celebrity brand based on your name. But then again, as you were just alluding to, Kinsey, here she is going, oh, the difficulty, the problems of launching a brand when you're scrutinized by the public. Well, you're bound to be. It's a celebrity brand. Of course you're going, that's part and parcel of the project. So she can't complain about that. But as I say, the big problem with As Ever, and if she launches some fashion brand, it will always be this, that she thinks, oh, people will buy my products because they all love me. The problem is they don't all love you, Meghan. They don't love her, therefore they won't buy the products. So As Ever seems to me, I mean, it's not officially confirmed, but it seems to me that, as we always said, it has no future. It's probably over as we speak. Why on earth were people ever going to pay, shall we say, $14 for cookie dough, $10 for jam and marmalade, just because it's got Meghan's name on it? They never were going to do that because they don't like her name. Her entire business premise is false. It won't work. It's a foundation made of sand. So everything she ever does, I don't think will succeed.
Hey guys, who doesn't want energy, metabolic, immune, and skin support? Meet Peak, a luxury brand transforming wellness with the absolute best, rare, and precious plants, cutting edge ingredients, and formulations rooted in traditional wisdom. Their science backed botanicals, minerals, and supplements support sustained energy, metabolic function, immune health, and radiant skin, making it easy to live each day with vitality. One of their newest essentials, the Deep Hydration Protocol, is a 2-part drinkable skincare system that keeps your body and skin hydrated while promoting better sleep. Made without sugar, fillers, or artificial flavors, and crafted with natural ingredients for a clean, spa-like taste you can feel good about. Daily use supports hydration, glowing skin, improved sleep, and sustained energy. In the morning, I use BT Fountain. It's their beauty electrolyte. It hydrates from within, makes my skin feel amazing and look amazing, and gives me lasting energy. At night, I'm using RE Fountain. This is a calming electrolyte. It contains a gentle form of magnesium that eases tension and helps me get deep, restful sleep without feeling groggy the next day. We want to wake up rested, right? Stay hydrated all day long. And I want you to. So wake up, get rested, stay hydrated all day, and also get 20% off for life, a complimentary gift, and explore Peak's clean, pure ingredient products at peaklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. This is hydration redefined. Try it and glow from the inside out. Yeah, well, just to your point, the Daily Mail reported over the weekend, and how embarrassing that the Daily Mail is reporting this, and you're sitting on a stage, purported to be an expert. But according to one friend, at the moment, Meghan is literally lost because the whole jam making business did not work out in the way she thought it would. No one has seen figures, but I don't think they're that good. I want to just read this one line to you again from the Fortune description of what we can anticipate from Meghan today. How she plans to leverage her significant influence to build a successful, long-lasting business empire. If they were to literally pose this question to Meghan Markle, does it not thrill you to anticipate what's going to come out of her mouth, like the crazy that is going to come out of her mouth, the word salad, anchoring in herself, Meghan Markle? Like, what is she possibly going to say? Because she is never upfront and honest. She never answers straightforward questions. She always dances around it with her weird California hippie lingo. I think that this is going to be a hot mess express.
Yeah, I just think that the failure will carry on and on and on. It will keep on keeping on. I can't see how she's ever going to succeed. I mean, it's possible that she could come up with a fashion range that everybody liked and it was reasonably priced and therefore it might
Why
work.
wouldn't I just go to the big and tall store, shop beige, shop the color beige? It's cheaper, and I would not, just oversized beige clothes. That's all she wears.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. When I say it's possible it could succeed, it's an outside chance. The main chance is it won't succeed. As I say, anything with Meghan's name on is going to struggle. But she can't allow herself to face that harsh reality. Your problem, Meghan, is no one likes you. Therefore, they're not going to buy your products. She apparently is still obsessed with becoming a billionaire or a billionairess. You know, that she's obsessed with making her fortune. I mean, how on earth, what on earth ever went through her head that she could make $1 billion selling jam for $10 a jar? What on earth went through her head? I mean, it's just, it really is odd. Now, she'll go into fashion now, as you say. Well, you look, Victoria Beckham's just made a documentary proving how hard you have to work to make it in the fashion business. It really is a hard-working industry. And I'm not sure that Ms. Markle has that work ethic. Every time I look at her, I look at the As Ever and the American Riviera Orchard, maybe a fashion venture. I'm going to make a documentary. And by the way, when you talked about Harry and Meghan living off the memory of Diana, don't forget one of their alleged projects that they've pitched to Netflix is a documentary on Diana. But with Meghan, I mean, where does she go from here? Nothing that she is going to sell on the back of her name is going to sell. So, as I say, in the end, I look at her and I think you tried As Ever, the American Riviera Orchard, you can have a go at fashion now. You might make a documentary for Netflix. Oh, you bought the rights for that film. Blah, blah. You know what I want to say in the end? Get a job. Get a job. You know, get up in the morning, go to work like the rest of us. You know, I mean, is in the end the problem with Meghan, and I think it might be, is she's just a bit lazy. I mean, no offense to people, you live in California, I used to live there, you live in LA, and a load of people in LA are brilliant, hard-working, genius people. I love the people of California, don't get me wrong. But you know the type of Californian I'm talking about. These are the types of people...
what you're talking about is the acting community, which I learned not until I moved over here. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but what actors do is they get a gig and then they go on unemployment until they get their next gig. And so you're sitting there looking at somebody that got this ungodly paycheck to star in the Dallas reboot, sitting on his butt collecting unemployment, thinking, I just watched you on TV last night and you are collecting unemployment. So yes, they know exactly what you're saying.
Also, it's like, again, I'm not trying to besmirch everyone in California, brilliant people in California. Los Angeles is full of the most clever people in the world, but it's also full of all these lazy grifters. You know the type, and they're always going, you go, what are you up to now? Yeah, I've written a script. Paramount are really interested. And they've got some... I
developed this new app.
That's right, exactly. Exactly. Everybody's got a big plan. They're going to be a billionaire next week. Everybody you ever speak to in California. Meghan's one of them. She's one of them. Tomorrow I'm going to be a billionaire. I've got this scheme. It's going to make me a fortune. Oh, that didn't work. I got another scheme. Get a job. Get up in the morning and go to work, you know?
But it's also like, isn't it concerning? And I know I've had this conversation with you recently about the anxiety Prince Harry must feel about Meghan, her ability to quit people, but it's her ability to quit everything. The British royal family, the TIG, archetypes, confessions of a female founder, potentially as ever. It's her ability to quit everything. She doesn't like to commit to things. She can walk away too easily. And I wonder if that makes Prince Harry nervous. But I love that you brought up Victoria Beckham, because The Independent wrote an article called How Victoria Beckham Has Done What Meghan Markle Never Could. And they go into some of these strengths that Victoria has that we have never seen from Meghan. And it gives us maybe a little bit of insight. I agree that she is potentially lazy and can't commit. But some of these, well, I'll just read you this quote. I love this quote from The Independent. Both have also been in Paris this month for Fashion Week, but where Victoria Beckham now commands the hard-earned respect from everyone from Anna Wintour downwards, Markle only saw her epic fails go viral, including what's been dubbed her Zoolander walk, as she strutted into a fashion show being accused of laughing at a stumbling model, and an awkward kiss miss aimed at Balenciaga's creative director. The tone-deaf limo reel, filmed close to where Diana died, further cemented the feeling of Meghan Markle's overwhelming self-absorption. And then they talk about how Victoria Beckham admits to having an eating disorder in this docuseries for the very first time. She opens up about the tens of millions of dollars in the red she was over this fashion brand that she was so passionate about, and her husband having to swoop in and save the day. She talks about feeling uncool and being bullied, and some of that hostile media that I didn't even know existed. I was interested. That was interesting for me to see how mean people were to her about her relationship and her talent. But the contrast, they say, with Harry and Meghan is they've been vulnerable in a really moany way. If you're that privileged, you cannot moan, the article says. Do you get what they're saying, where Victoria, she doesn't want sympathy when she tells us she had an eating disorder. She's just like, I was dealing with some really weird stuff that I had to overcome, where it feels like there's an ulterior motive. Every time Harry and Meghan say something to us, it's like, pick our side, pick our side.
Absolutely. And you know, when Meghan went to Paris, you know, you bring up Victoria Beckham, it proves the fashion industry is a very difficult industry to break into. Be you a model, be you a designer, be you a cutter, whatever. It's a difficult industry to break into, and nobody gets into it. Nobody makes it in the fashion business unless they work. They got to work. And Victoria Beckham, to her credit, I think she's doing well now, but her business has been very difficult. But as I was just saying, Victoria Beckham now for, what is it, 10, 15 years, has been getting up every day, going to the office, going to the studio and creating outfits and working and doing the business, working her backside off. And that's why she's accepted in the fashion industry. She's also got a good, I think, innate sense of style. Victoria and all the other successful people in fashion went to Paris Fashion Week, and they all you know, they all you know, communed with each other. Meghan thinks she can just turn up, go to the Balenciaga show, then go to the after party and hey ho, oh yes, you're one of us. No. She discovered, I mean, I don't say this admiringly, but this fashion business is very snobbish. You know, you have to work hard to be accepted. And when she turned up at the after show for Balenciaga, having laughed at the model who fell over, I must admit, I'd probably do the same. But at fashion shows, that's a no-no. You don't laugh at the models if they stumble. You just don't do it. It's not part of their culture. So she didn't do herself any favors then. Then she went to the Balenciaga after party, and there was this excruciating scene where she tried to sort of muscle in on a conversation involving the, statuesque veteran British actress, very upper class actress, Dame Christian Scott Thomas. And Christian basically blanked her. She sort of turned to Meghan and just sort of smiled, and then turned back and carried on with her conversation. So her humiliation was complete there. She discovered that breaking into haute couture, as she no doubt plans, it's not going to be that easy for her. And I don't quite know what role she plans for herself. What if she's going to break into high fashion? How is she going to design, walk the catwalk? What's she going to do?
Well, I mean, obviously, the Balenciaga call, "Can I please come to your fashion show?" I think was to try to give her credibility with her meeting with Chloe Mall, Nepo baby to Candice Bergen of Murphy Brown, who said she's a proud Nepo baby. And to which I say, well, if only Meghan would say, I'm a proud Nepo wife. I mean, she'd be so much more like, I mean, even Victoria Beckham kind of makes that joke. And another thing I think that's, you talk about why, what are you going to do and why? One of the reasons I think we buy what Victoria Beckham is selling is because she has a real origin story. She says, for the first time in my life, I had money. I stole all of the Spice Girls wardrobe money, and I would buy the Gucci dress, and they'd be wearing $20 tops from High Street, and I'd be in the Gucci. And then she says, and then who is it? Donatella Versace invites me privately to the store, and I pick out the leather dress and I chop it all up because I want it to fit my body better. And Donatella Versace never forgives me. Like, so she has really interesting stories that connect the dots, and you go, oh, this is why she loves fashion, and this is why I believe her. Where when Meghan sits down for Time 100's event and they ask her the origin story of her jam making, she goes, oh, it was Netflix's idea. Netflix says, oh, this is what you should do. That's not an origin story. Like, an origin story is, I was alone during the pandemic, and I had a beautiful garden, and I realized I could do anything with any sort of meaning. But Meghan's just like, well, Netflix was like, this is your thing, this is what you should do. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she's just as you were saying earlier, Kinsey, she just breezes into things and thinks, I'm going to make $1 billion. I'm going to make jam. I'm going to make jam with joy. I'm going to sell the joy of making jam. And it doesn't make $1 billion.
How funny that her and Kamala Harris are going to share a stage today.
I mean, what is that about? What is that about? What are they got? Next level influencers? Kamala Harris, next level influencer? I don't think so. Basement level influencer. I mean, Meghan, you want to have piece of advice: don't share the stage with Kamala Harris. Bad idea. Your latest very bad idea. But yeah, I mean, I think we've used that. I've asked you this before. You do have that phrase, flippity gibbet, in America, don't you? Flippity gibbet. Well, that's what she is. Into something. I'm going to make $1 billion. Oh, I didn't make $1 billion. I'll try this. I'm going to make $1 billion. Oh, I didn't make $1 billion. I'll dump that. I'll go and do something else. Oh, I didn't make $1 billion. I'll ditch that. I'll try something else. And I think it's getting desperate now, as the Daily Mail said. She looks like someone who was lost. She's like flailing around, like a dervish, desperately trying to find a big money-making project, and it's just not happening. And she may have designs on the fashion industry, but the fashion industry doesn't have designs on her. She has that meeting with Chloe Mall, the American Vogue editor. But, I look at Vogue magazine. Meghan Markle is not a Vogue magazine person. She just isn't. I'm afraid she's just too tacky. She hasn't got the innate style, and being married to old ginger nuts, that won't do her any good at all. It really won't. I just don't see her making it in the high fashion world of haute couture.
Well, I think that Vogue is desperate with print media dying. And they see the clickbait value, whether you love her or you
Yeah,
hate
that's
her,
the
you read
point.
the Meghan Markle article. So I
Yeah.
think something will come to fruition when it comes to Vogue. But I think that they're utilizing how polarizing this woman is. It's not about seeing any value, any real talent or value in her. Just like that podcasting agent said at that huge podcasting conference, it turns out Meghan Markle doesn't really have any talent. You know, I don't think
Well,
she,
she
I don't
doesn't,
think
does
she's
she?
I don't think they see any value in her other than the clickbait. Chloe comes from the digital side of Vogue. That's how she got her magazine job,
Yeah.
because she dominated in the
Yeah,
digital
and that's the
space
way
there. So
forward. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I look at um Megan, and I just think what a waste, because you talking about how she's cheapened her brand, which she has through her own actions, doing reality shows, etc. She has cheapened her own brand. But it wasn't this way when she first stepped down as a working member of the British royal family and chasing the money, like what we've been
Yeah.
discussing. Chasing the money is what cheapened them. Taking the easy outs
Yeah.
with the Spotify, the Penguin Random House, the Netflix,
Yeah.
they had the power to say, like, we'll come to Netflix, but we don't want to talk about the royal family. The check would have been lower, it would have been a smaller check, but Netflix would have taken them on because of their name recognition. They chose the cheaper route for the dollars.
Hmm.
They have cheapened their brand, and I do not think that they are worth the value that they were previously worth. Um, I guess I'm just over it, because it is, to watch her, it's exhausting. And it's like, go away for a few years, have a
Mm.
come to Jesus, come back and apologize for tormenting the queen towards the end of her life. And then people might not loathe you as much as they do. But you made the last few years of Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth's lives a living hell.
Mm.
And they will always be so much more important to you when it comes to the history of this earth. Like, the Queen and Prince Philip are important figures in history. Meghan Markle slithered in like a snake, tried to tear that family to shreds, and people are unforgiving, rightly so. And that's why she's having trouble breaking into any and all industry.
I think to sum up, I totally agree with everything you just said. I think if you want to sum up what's wrong with Meghan, how it is that she goes about things in the wrong way, is she lacks grace. She has no grace. I mean, for a start, the members of the British royal family, with the exception of Andrew and Fergie, of course, most of them have a kind of a grace, and that grace is caused or born of the fact that they rise above everything. Doesn't matter what people say about them, what they write about them, the royal family just carry on with a kind of grace. They do not bother themselves with the bits and bobs with the media and the little attacks and this and that. They just, like the Queen always said, never complain, never explain. Meghan spends her entire time complaining and explaining. So nothing ever happens without Meghan getting her oar in. If she doesn't say anything directly, she says it through People magazine or page 6 in the New York Post. Same for Harry. Harry has lost the innate grace that members of the royal family have, because he has made himself into some sort of two-bit B-list celebrity who beefs and cries at every single moment and keeps giving these hysterical interviews. Everyone's trying to kill me. That's not royal. That lacks grace. And as you also said earlier, Kinsey, these two playing the victim cards. Woe is us, poor us, poor us. Yeah, come on, come on. You live in a massive mansion in Montecito, you fly by private jet everywhere, you might be pushed for money, but you live in a kind of style that most people could only dream of. So please, please, none of your victim card. It doesn't work. It's annoying, it's infuriating, it's lacking in all grace.
Ain't that the truth? What a mic drop we just had there. All right. Agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And head over to Talk TV, where I will be with Kev later this week, multiple times. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks, Kevin. We will see you guys next time.
Cheers, Kinsey.